Hey there, welcome to the Treasured Wellness Show. Grab your mug of herbal tea, a notebook, and your Bible, and we will dive right in. I'm so glad you're here. Hi there, welcome back to the Treasured Wellness Show. This is the second season. We are kicking off the second season of the Treasured Wellness Show. I'm your host, Michelle, and it's good to be back. I'm glad to see you, and I thought that we would kick off this next season with our very first show to be about healthier food swaps, like healthier food options that you can then, make switches for slowly on your timeline, your time level. The thing is, when we make these drastic changes all at once really fast, it can kind of make us feel a little overwhelmed. It can make us feel like we are being deprived, like we are just all in, but we're not really sure what to do next. I remember when I did my very first pantry cleanse, the very first time I did a pantry cleanse, I threw myself into it. I completely went through everything in the pantry. I got rid of a bunch of stuff. I threw stuff out. It was crazy. I had 5 grocery bags full of things that I just threw out. So what's really interesting is because of my experience, because of the fact that I sat down at the bar and I just kind of cried a little bit, like, what now? What comes next? I actually did create a course for my clients to help them to navigate the steps of cleaning out the pantry, because it's so overwhelming. It can just be so just overwhelming is a perfect word, really. I can't think of another better word. It's just overwhelming. We are learning to read labels. We are learning the ingredients that might not be so good for us. We are learning all of these things. And so if we are taking everything all at once and just like throwing it out, it can be a big challenge for us to feel like we have got this, like we are confident. And so the course that I created helps to build the confidence by taking it a step at a time. So today I've got some pantry items out that I wanted to share with you. I want to talk about sugar first, because sugar is such a, well, we love our sugar, don't we? We sure do. But sugar and artificial sweeteners are linked to brain and body dis-ease. And if you have watched me before or listened to the podcast before, you understand that we want to make the changes that we need to do while we have dis-ease before it turns into disease. We do not want it to turn into disease, because that is really, it's not what we want. Then we're having to play defense and we want to play offense. So we want to be proactive now, so we don't have to be reactive later. So sugar, the best thing to do is look at a natural sweetener. That is the best way. A lot of these artificial sweeteners have these claims, and you may have even heard about erythritol. It actually came out in the news some months back. I think it was at the beginning of the year, where erythritol is literally linked to stroke and heart disease. So that's scary. We don't want to have anything that we're putting in our body that we're thinking is safe, but it's really not, and it's wreaking havoc on our health. So what do? The best thing is to go natural. If God created it, we know that it's good for us, right? Everything on the earth He gave us to use, to utilize. It's up to us to know what is right, how to use it, what to do. And that's why you have a community of people that you can reach out to and ask for help and for support. So, of course, we want our sugar and our coffee and in our tea or and all of our drinks, we like to sweeten it a little bit, right? Honey, natural honey. This is from our local honey, our honey man, we call him. We go and pick blueberries from him, and sometimes we get different vegetables and fruits and things from him. But you want to get raw local honey, so the honey that is near you. That is going to be better for your allergies, for your immune system. It's going to be better. Your body's going to recognize it better. So local honey is best, and raw in its raw form is best. And then we have maple syrup. Okay, organic maple syrup. That is another good option because you can bake with this. You can bake with honey. You can bake with maple syrup and honey. You can put this in your coffee, which by the way is delicious. So you can do, you know, those protein bites. Those are great options to make those protein bites, and you're not getting a sweetener that is foreign to your body. It's not artificial, and your body recognizes it. Now, if you want sugar, like cane sugar, this would be a better option. And there's other brands, of course. So don't look at the brands that I'm showing you. Jot them down for sure. But you can compare. You can look around it and compare. So this is going to be, it's essentially organic, raw. It's raw cane sugar. It's just raw cane sugar. So it's the cane sugar that has not been processed. It's not been stripped of its nutrients and processed and bleached. So we don't want the white sugar. It's been bleached. Okay, so that is some sugar options there. Keep it simple. There's another good sugar option. I'm out of it, but I also use coconut sugar, which is a great way to sweeten your baked goods, especially if you're concerned about that, keeping your sugar low. It is a lower glycemic index, so that's a good option too. Okay, so let's talk about some pastas. Okay, so if you are trying to be gluten-free, if you're trying to avoid gluten, I am gluten-free, and so I have been for 10 years now. There are so many more products out now, which is so nice, so nice. But you still want to be mindful of the carbohydrates, because just because you get gluten-free products does not mean it's healthy, right? There's crappy gluten-free products out there. So we want to be sure that we are getting as much nutrition without the excess. Carbohydrates turn to sugar in our blood. I mean, that's just what happens. It turns into sugar in our body. And so we are actually getting that spiking, and we're not really getting the nutrition. So being more of a, or following, I should say, more of a low carb plan is a good idea, but you want to be careful of what you're eating as well. So I've got some Ancient Harvest. This is rotini. It's gluten-free. However, if you turn it around, I'm looking at the carbohydrates, 42 grams of carbs. That's high. That's really high. I do not have pasta very often for this reason. Also, grains don't always agree with me, so I have to be careful. But these are some things that as you are on your health journey, you will learn about yourself as well. Now, there is protein in here. However, there's not a whole lot. Organic quinoa flour is the last ingredient, so you're not going to get a whole lot of protein. This is a great product that I found, Explore Cuisine. I really, really like this brand because it has all of the texture that you want in a pasta, but you're getting less carbs. So for example, the carbohydrate, this was what, 42 I said? This is 20 grams of carbs. However, one little trick that you may or may not know about is you can subtract the fiber from the carbohydrate, and that gives you your net carb, which is a better indicator of how many carbs are really in it. Because that fiber, you really want to have that fiber. That's what's going to fill you. That's what's going to help keep you satisfied. So this has 14 grams of fiber in it. So that's pretty amazing, but also 24 grams of protein. It's incredible, 24 grams of protein. So this is why I really love this brand. And again, we are getting other brands out there that are creating healthier products for us. So that's good. And you really just want to have simple ingredients. My rule is 5 or fewer ingredients. And that way you know that you're actually getting real food and that your body will recognize that better. Okay, so some other things, I'm just going to kind of go through what I have here. So nutritional yeast, this is a really good option if you were trying to make something cheesy, but you want to be dairy free. So you can actually make a mac and cheese with nutritional yeast. I gotta tell you though, I have not mastered mac and cheese dairy-free. I just haven't. So my husband is a saint and he eats anything I give him, and he will even eat leftovers. But yeah, I'm still working on this one. So quinoa, I love quinoa. Quinoa is a seed-like grain, so it really is, it gives you a complete protein. You're getting a ton of protein, excuse me. Still a carbohydrate though, so if you're watching your carbs, this is a better option by far, but at the same time, you know, like than rice, but at the same time, you might want to go easy on it depending on where you're at in your journey. How many carbs? We do need carbs. That's the thing. Carbs are not the enemy, just like fat is not the enemy. We just have to eat the right kinds. We have to know what kind of fat is good for us, what kind of carbs are good for us. Then we can go ahead and eat in confidence. And that's really what we want. We want to be able to feel comfortable and confident that we are caring for ourselves, we can care for our families in the way that, you know, we know how to do. And just don't worry about what the world says. Don't worry about everything else. Like, we know that we can have confidence in that. So I love that. And a lot of people want granola. A lot of people love granola. Granola as a whole, again, because of its carb and its sugar content, it's not the healthiest, but it's getting better. There are some better brands out there, and I think Elizabeth's is a brand that's pretty good. I just found Simple Truth Organic, and this is a good option. All of it is organic. I highly recommend buying organic as much as you can, because then you're not also getting the pesticides. You're not getting all the extra junk in there. So this is a really good option, and you can put it with your yogurt. So let me jump to the yogurt then. I really cannot tolerate yogurt. I can only tolerate some dairy. So it's been kind of a challenge in the last 5 years specifically, because I went years without having yogurt. Like, I'm just like, well, I can't eat it. Kind of like ice cream. Well, I can't eat it. It's not worth the gut problems I would have that next day, or even sometimes within an hour. It's just not worth it. And every time you're like putting gasoline on the fire in your gut, like, it's just not worth it. Yeah, you might rebound, but you're miserable and you're just destroying your gut lining and you're just causing inflammation, and it's just not good. So, fortunately, I've been, you know, I've had some struggles with dietary, you know, like being gluten-free, being dairy-free, having IBS my whole life, all of these things that once I learned what I knew, that the food I was eating was causing massive problems in my health, it was easy for me to give it up, honestly. It really was, because I'd been sick for so long, it just wasn't worth it. So once I learned this, I was okay. But I understand not everybody's like that, and sometimes you need to take time, you need to go slow. So, and I know that's why they have those dairy pills that you can take to kind of help mitigate it a little bit. They never worked for me, by the way. But it was a quest for me to find a non-dairy yogurt that was not full of sugar. It's crazy how much sugar that they put in non-dairy yogurt. Well, I found one. I'm super happy about this. Kite Hill. So it has protein in it, and it is higher in fat, but that does not bother me because it's good fat. It's the good fat. And it doesn't have the sugar. It has 1 gram of sugar. I did not want all that sugar. And the carbs are really low. I mean, they're 9 grams of carbs, which is not bad at all, with 3 grams of fiber. So I was really happy with it. But how does it taste? It's delicious. It's really good. So I actually just finished this morning with a little bit of granola. And normally I don't eat yogurt or granola in the morning, so it was just one of those weird mornings. But normally I'm having like eggs with vegetables, something like that. So anyway, that's a good option right there for you. And speaking of breakfast, Alfresco is a great brand to have chicken sausage. I recommend chicken or turkey sausages. You know, try to get the organic as much as you can. and just know what's in it. Read your labels, read your ingredients. So this is literally just saying what's in it: salt, sugar, spices, chicken, and there's only one carb in this. So this is a good option when it is when you're in a quick pinch. You know, there are Applegate. I love Applegate because it is a healthy brand too. So, you know, we do what we can with what we have and what we can find, right? So, okay, so flours, people love to bake, and I love to bake, and I found that there were a lot of different flour blends. When my daughter was gluten-free, when we discovered she had to be gluten-free, I had to go through everything, making everything from scratch. I had to learn the blends. I had to learn how much of this, how much of that, and I created everything from scratch. Unfortunately, she didn't really love my homemade bread, so there's that. But I did it anyway. So one of the things I used at that time was brown rice flour. So again, okay, you're going to get your carbohydrates for sure. I don't have any more of my favorite baking blend, but it's Bob's Red Mill, and it's the 1-for-1 baking blend. I love it, but I just used that up, and I forgot to keep the wrapper. So there's that. There's also cassava flour, which is totally different. It's relatively new. I don't love this on its own, I'll just tell you, but mixing it in a blend is fine. And then there is cauliflower. My daughter-in-law found this for me and got it, and I have not opened it yet, so I don't know how it works. I don't know how it bakes up. So there's an option there. And then, of course, for low carb, you've got your coconut flour or your almond flour. I love baking with almond flour. I've been baking for almost 20 years now with almond flour, and I love it. But I love it even more when I mix it with something else. It does, it can be a little grainy sometimes in your finished product. So now they've come out with these baking blends, so much better. So I love that. But for low carb, almond flour for sure. And my coconut flour is in the freezer, so I don't have that out. So I want to talk about some seeds, because seeds are really good for giving you extra fiber and protein. So chia seeds, look, got those at Lidl, which is awesome because that was a lot cheaper. Chia seeds are great. Flax seeds are awesome. That's going to give you some omega-3s that many people are lacking in. We're having way more omega-6s in our diets. And then hemp seeds. So good. You're getting a great amount of protein. You're getting a lot of minerals, vitamins and minerals in here naturally. And so it's just really nice. Yeah, so 3 tablespoons gives you 10 grams of protein. So perfect, which is great. Great in yogurt, great in smoothies, great to sprinkle over top of a protein bowl or something that you make. So really good option. I always try to have those. And then because I'm a chocoholic, because I absolutely love my chocolate, but I want it to be healthier chocolate. I don't want all the chemicals, and I don't want genetically modified ingredients in my chocolate. Then you've got your raw cacao powder. This is a powerhouse. You're getting magnesium, you're getting potassium, you're getting protein, and there's zero fat, and there's no sugar. No sugar. So that's awesome. That makes a great shake. It makes a great like a smoothie, or if you're making a chia seed pudding or something, that makes it really nice. And these cacao nibs, these are so great. Again, you've got your potassium and you've got your protein in here. And there is 1 gram of sugar for 3 tablespoons. So that's so minor. I just love these so much because it can take the place of the chocolate chips. So that's a really nice, fun treat. Okay, so I want to talk about bread options, because bread is something that is, I think, maybe one of the hardest things that people have when they're trying to go low carb is to stop eating sandwiches. And fortunately now there are so many options out there. So you've got these cauliflower sandwich thins that are awesome. You really can find these over by the deli. At least that's where they are in my store. And we've also got these Folio's cheese wraps, which are so delicious. And actually they're really, really big. So what I do is I just cut them in half, and I only have half of one, again, because of the whole dairy thing too for me. This is like a treat for me, which I know might sound crazy, but that's the reality of my gut. So, but this actually does not bother my stomach. So, and doing half. So you can make your wraps this way. Yeah, there are some low carb wraps out there, sure. But look at the ingredients too. Like, you want it to taste good. This is literally all cheese. So you know what you're getting with this. Some of those, even the gluten-free wraps, don't have great flavor, and they put a lot in there that are not necessarily natural, so it just kind of takes away from the fact you're eating a wrap. So to me, I'm like, I'm not going to eat a wrap then, because if that's my option, I'd rather do something like that. Now, there are a few breads out there that are really good options. They are really more whole food based. I love Ezekiel bread. I love it because it's all sprouted organic grains. But if you are gluten-free and even the Ezekiel sprouted grains affect you like they do me, then you have to look for that gluten-free bread. Now, unfortunately, gluten-free breads tend to have a lot of gums in them, a lot of extra fillers, things that I don't love. So I do eat that sparingly. This is a pretty decent bread that I have found. And because it's got so much fiber in it, it has 13 grams of fiber, so that this makes it actually one net carb, which is really nice. It's got a little bit of a gummy texture though, so I don't love it. I don't have the bread that I really do like. I think it's called Be Free, that seems to have more whole food in it. So I do like that one. So that's another option, Be Free. What am I forgetting? Oatmeal. So steel cut oats is always going to be a healthier option. Again, you're wanting to get gluten-free if you need that, or organic, preferably. Still high in carbs. Like, oats are going to be high in carbs. Everybody's like, oh, but there's so much fiber. Okay, well, there's only, for a third cup, there's only 5 grams of fiber in this steel cut oats. And steel cut oats are better than rolled oats, but you're getting more protein. However, there's still not that much fiber. There's a lot more carb, which again is not the end of the world. It's not that you need to be no carb. You just have to be smart about your carbs. So if I were to eat this for breakfast with my seeds, my nuts and my seeds, I wouldn't then also have a sandwich for lunch. So you just want to be careful if you're trying to be low carb. You want to balance it out, have a balanced nutrition. Okay. So butter. These are my two most favorite brands of butter. Kerrygold and Truly Grass-Fed. So I'm really drawn to this one as of lately, but it's also fun to put a little bit of butter in your coffee and whip it up and kind of make it that bulletproof coffee. That's really fun. So speaking of coffee, because everybody thinks that I'm going to take them off their coffee when they start working with me. And it's like, no, not unless we need to. Not unless I look at your labs and I'm like, something's going on maybe with your adrenals or something like that. So not taking you off coffee. However, there are better coffee options out there if you are struggling with fatigue, if you are having some adrenal deficiency or just exhaustion. So I do love Four Sigmatic. Four Sigmatic is a really good brand that has, it's got mushrooms in it, which are really good for that brain boost. Lion's mane, reishi mushrooms, chaga mushrooms. Here's another brand that does it as well. So this one has less caffeine, so I do prefer this brand actually. And what I do when I make my coffee, my mushroom coffee, is I'll add more mushrooms to it because it's going to give me that extra focus. It's going to help my immune system, and that's what I want. So I will add that. And then I'll also add some creamer as well to it that is going to give me something, not just take away. It's not just full of sugar. As a matter of fact, there's less than 1 gram of sugar in here, but it's got it's monk fruit. That's the sweetener. So monk fruit is another good option. I totally forgot about monk fruit and stevia. Of course, those are good options. Of course, as long as they are just monk fruit, just stevia. You don't want those that are mixed with erythritol or sucralose or aspartame, because those are not healthy for us at all. And like I said, linked to heart disease and stroke. So we want to be careful with that. So that's kind of when I'm making like a special drink, maybe in the afternoon if I do need something. Maybe, I'm not having coffee and then I've been just plugging away all day long and I kind of hit a wall. I've gone for a walk, but I'm still kind of hitting a wall. I will reach for the mushroom coffee because it just helps my brain, and I just love it so much. So all of these that I just mentioned, you are able to get on my online supplement dispensary, which is so wonderful. You don't have to get just supplements there. So reach out to me if you would like access to that, because you can get that, and it's just nice to be able to shop online and know what you're getting, know the products that you're getting, and you get a little discount too. So that's nice. Of course, I'm a big tea drinker, so we've got these teas that I love. These are not just the only brands. I absolutely, traditional medicinals, I absolutely love. But, I mean, there's other brands. Just, again, organic is what you're looking for. And then, okay, I just discovered this a couple of months ago. This is one of my very favorite chocolate brands. So good. It is so awesome. So what I love about it is it's just no junk. It's organic cacao, organic coconut sugar, cocoa butter, organic hazelnuts, organic coffee, and organic vanilla bean. No junk. So good. So anyway, that's my little plug for this company. So, but there's other brands. I love Endangered Species. That's another good brand. I love them. So super good. I don't think I forgot anything. Of course you want farm fresh eggs as much as you can. Farm fresh eggs. I love our farm fresh eggs. They are look at that green one. So pretty. That was Nellie. Nellie gives us the green eggs. Yes, I name our chickens. I've named them after the Golden Girls, and I've named them after Little House on the Prairie. So there's that. They are so cute. They're so much fun, and they're probably a little bit spoiled. But so I hope that this was helpful for you today. I really do. I hope that maybe you were able to jot down some brands. Watch this video again if you really want to get more detail, and then make a list and just start systematically swapping out your current brand with something a little bit healthier. And if you want more help in cleaning out your pantry and your refrigerator, I do have a pantry cleanse course that you can purchase. It's on my website, treasuredwellness.com. This is a way that it can just walk you through at your pace. This is a self-study, so it's nothing where you have to be thrown in and do that all at once and be sitting on the floor crying like I was. So you don't have to do that. We can make this so much easier. So that Pantry Cleanse course will be on my website, treasuredwellness.com. And Treasured Wellness is also, in addition to being on Soulwind and anywhere that you listen to podcasts, is now on Christian Mix 106. So go check out Christian Mix 106. It's a great station. And I hope you have an amazing day. And remember, you are a beautiful treasure.